news, Zimbabwe plans to sell the right to shoot as many as 500 elephants for as much as $70,000 per animal. Zimbabwe has the world's second biggest elephant population, and neighboring Botswana has the largest. Both have been criticized by environmental groups for their plans to profit from elephant hunting. We're going to talk about that some more with Joseph Kafunda, who's the manager of operations at Job Trading over in Namibia. Joseph, a good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us. So is this primarily about funding?
Good afternoon. Yes. We can say primarily about funding, but at the same time, we all do understand the pandemic that we are all facing. So especially government, national parks are also facing the same pandemic and the same stress that we, the business people, are facing as well. So it's primarily pandemic fundings, yes.
Are there any other options that the parks could have considered to raise funding for operations besides this option that they've chosen?
The option that they choose is not a bad option. It's an option of which we'll be able to reduce the number of the elephants that they have. You have to understand that elephants are animals that are considered catastrophic. They do cause a lot of troubles. We have kids in the villages that are always scared when the elephant pass by. So minimizing or reducing the number, we talk about sustainability. We are reducing the number, or the government of Zimbabwe have decided to reduce the number so that we can be able to allow the free movements and also to make sure that those animals do have enough food, or foods are sufficient to sustain all of them. Because you have to understand also, we have been facing a bit of drought. So that drought also comes with a lot of stress on the food or on the availability of food available. So there are many options to deal with this. One, it's auction the animals to other different parts of Africa or the world. But at this point of time, I think minimizing the number by selling some of them, that's best options.
All right. And does this illustrate how badly safari parks were hit by the COVID-19 pandemic?
Very, 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 very much. Remember, it's COVID-19 started in March 2020, but we do have high season and lower seasons. And especially for national parks, if we don't have visitors visiting the park, that put a lot of strain on the government to find donors, to find fundings. And since all the donors currently, they are facing the same pandemic as we are. So COVID-19 has come and strike us back down and put us down back on our knees. So the government are finding or trying to find how to mitigate the current situation with the resources that it's available. But it's really, really bad for the rest of the governments in Africa, for that matter.
All right, thank you for that. And just to correct myself, I said Job Trading. You're actually operations manager, Rafiki Tours Safaris. Now, what about raising entry fees to see the animals? Do you think that would work to raise funding?
I think if we raise entry fee, who are our clients right now? Because right now we must understand who are the one who are sustaining the tour operators. Like you said, I'm an operational manager of Rafiki Tours and Safaris. We haven't been doing tours since January 2020, but how can we be able to sustain ourselves? That means we have looked towards local tourism. And when we look at local tourism, can they be able to afford the same park fee as Europeans or Americans or Asians? Not at all. So meaning our park fee has been reduced to half of the price. Instead of paying $10, we are paying, because we are locals, we are paying $3 to $5. So the dividend that used to be in a good number for the government to help to sustain the government when it came to purchase or to maintain the national parks, it has been reduced by almost 150%. So increasing the price is just going to put more restriction on your local that you have been trying to market and trying to create business opportunity for them. So I don't think it's a good idea if we increase the price just to save the few. We talk about, like I said, we talk about sustainable resources, how can we be able to reuse what we have currently so that the future generation can also be able to have? Zimbabwe has a second largest group of elephants. So taking few of them, you will not even notice the differences that it makes. So they are on the right call, but they have to do the right things. We have to make sure that it's well selected, it's well compiled, that file of those elephants that need to be auctioned or need to be put up for sales.
Thank you for that. Thank you. So vaccines are slowly making their way around the world. Could the parks have waited for vaccinations to, I guess, spread out more, or there was just at this point no choice?
We have to understand with the finding of vaccine doesn't change that much in the tourism industry because we are not controlling the market. The market is being controlled by the suppliers. Most of African countries, for years, we have been depending on European travelers and American travelers because they bring foreign currency comparing to our local or intra-Africa for that matter. So I think even if the vaccine is found, tourism still got 2 more years in order to recover. We will not go back to our same way we had tourism in 2019, in 2022. But in 2024, we might see the changes because vaccine will be saturated and everybody will be almost vaccinated worldwide. For now, those who are getting it, good luck for them. And I really would want to have that. But at the same time, it doesn't change that much.
All right, thank you for that. Okay, now poaching is a subject that comes up a lot now. Is there enough security at the parks to prevent poaching of the animals?
Poaching has been one of the longest or the oldest business in the world, in the entire world, if we can talk about. And currently, the security is there. But those securities which are they surviving on the little income that the government is paying them, or are they surviving on the free market that is there? In order to minimize poaching, we have a lot of associations, a lot of groups that are preventing people from selling what they have. My idea is always, why can't we saturate the market? We talk about poaching, yes, it's there, but how can we be able to prevent it? Prevention is good, but we need to saturate the market. Once the market is being saturated, we all going to be aware of exactly what's going to happen. And you can only buy it to those legal entities which have permits. But at the moment, because of the restriction, that is what create more and increase more of the poaching worldwide. So let's find a measure that's going to work against poaching, not preventing poaching, but find a measure that can be able to change the mindset of the people. So I think that is the only way we can prevent poaching of animals.
All right, I only got a minute to go. Joseph, when are you expecting a recovery for tourism? I guess even where you are, Namibia, and also Botswana, Zimbabwe. How soon, briefly if you can, expecting recovery?
I think the tourism recovery, we still got almost about a year and a half to go. We're not going to talk about 2020, 2021, 2022. The tourism recovery, it's mostly I'm talking about in terms of Southern Africa. In 2023, it's when we can be able to see that the tourism recovery, it's at its potentials. For now, let's promote local tourism. Let's promote intra-Africa tourism by negotiating with accommodation establishments so that accommodation can be affordable for our brothers and sisters in the African continent. That is the only way of which we can be able to maintain and sustain ourselves for now until 2023 when we are fully in the recovery process.
Great stuff. Joseph Kafunda, Operations Manager, Rafiki Tours and Safaris in Namibia. Thank you so much for taking us through the Zimbabwe decision with elephants and allowing some of them to be shot in.